The accelerator is pinned. You are trapped inside a 7,000-pound wedge of cold-rolled stainless steel, hurtling down a freeway at 90 miles per hour. You lift your foot, expecting the regenerative braking to bite, expecting that familiar deceleration that defines the electric driving experience. Nothing happens. The beast is still pulling. The wind noise against the angular glass is a deafening roar. You slam the mechanical brakes. The friction pads scream against the rotors. Fighting a war they were never designed to win against two massive electric motors engaging full torque. The truck isn't stopping. It's accelerating. This isn't a sci-fi horror movie. This isn't a hacker taking remote control. This is April 2024. And the reason you are careening towards a potential fatality isn't a complex software bug, a failed neural network, or a malicious cyber attack. It was soap. Welcome to the forensic files of the Cybertruck Sabotage. I am your lead analyst, and today we are dissecting how a single, unapproved industrial lubricant nearly toppled the most hyped vehicle in automotive history, and why the stainless giant is bleeding out from 1,000 self-inflicted cuts. We are going to tear apart the metallurgy, the assembly line protocols, and the corporate hubris that led to NHTSA Recall 24V276. But first, we have to go back to the factory floor at Giga Texas. The SOAP protocol. To understand the failure, you have to understand the friction coefficient. The Cybertruck's accelerator pedal is a two-part assembly, a calibrated metal stock and a cosmetic cover pad designed to look rugged and futuristic. In the automotive world, these pads are usually bonded with high-grade industrial adhesives or mechanical interlocks. They are designed to never move. Not by a millimeter. But in early 2024, on the assembly line, a problem arose. The pads were difficult to install. The interference fit was too tight. It was slowing down the line. And in the world of high-volume manufacturing, seconds are millions. Someone, somewhere in the chain of command, made an unapproved change. They introduced a lubricant to help slide the rubberized pad onto the metal pedal assembly. That lubricant was soap. Just simple, slippery soap. The theory? The soap would dry up, the friction would return, and the pad would stay put. The reality? The soap residue didn't evaporate. It remained trapped between the rubber and the metal, acting as a permanent friction-reducing layer. It turned the accelerator pedal into a slip and slide. When a driver applied high force, say, merging onto a highway or overtaking a semi-truck, the pad didn't just grip. It slid upwards. It dislodged. And here is where the geometry turns fatal. As the pad slid up, it didn't just fall off on the floor mat. It wedged itself into the interior trim of the bulkhead, the carpeted section directly above the pedal. The pad became a doorstop, jamming the pedal down into the fully open position. 100% throttle. NHTSA Recall 24V276. Read the report. An unapproved change introduced lubricant, soap. Residual lubricant reduced the retention of the pad. It is almost embarrassing in its simplicity. We are talking about a vehicle with steer-by-wire technology, 48-volt architecture, and an exoskeleton made of an alloy developed by SpaceX. Yet, it was defeated by a dollop of soap. Tesla's remedy was equally crude but effective. They recalled nearly 4,000 units and drilled a hole through the pedal and pad, installing a rivet. A mechanical fastener. A rivet. On a $100,000 spaceship. It was a visual admission of defeat against the laws of physics. The wiper motor catastrophe. If the soap was a comedy of errors, the wiper motor failure was a tragedy of electrical engineering. Fast forward to June 2024. NHTSA Recall 24V456. Over 11,000 Cybertrucks are flagged. The issue? The massive, single-blade wiper, the largest in the automotive industry, was failing. This isn't just a wiper. It is a critical visibility component on a truck with a windshield the size of a patio door. The motor powering this Giga wiper has to generate immense torque to push that blade across the glass against wind resistance at highway speeds. The forensic analysis reveals the culprit, the gate driver component. During functional testing by the supplier, excessive electrical current was applied to the motor controller circuit board. This electrical overstress damaged the gate driver. It's a classic latent defect. The board isn't dead immediately. It passes the test. It gets installed. It works for a week, maybe a month. But the damage is done at the microscopic level. The silicon is compromised. Eventually, under load, perhaps during a heavy downpour, the gate driver gives up. The wiper freezes. Imagine the scene. You are driving in a torrential downpour. You have zero visibility. The truck is blind. The driver is blind. And because the Cybertruck relies on cameras for so much of its autonomy, the computer is blind too. Tesla had to replace the entire wiper motor assembly on thousands of trucks. It was another blow to the narrative of indestructibility. The flying trim. By early 2025, the narrative shifted from mechanical failures to structural shedding. NHTSA Recall 25V170 hit the wire. The focus? The cosmetic applique along the exterior of the trunk bed and the A-pillar, known as the cant rail. The Cybertruck doesn't have paint. It doesn't have traditional body panels. It has stainless steel cladding. But the trim pieces? They are adhered. The forensic report cites improper installation and environmental embrittlement of the adhesive. Drivers were reporting trim pieces flying off the truck at highway speeds. A razor-sharp spear of stainless steel detaching from a vehicle doing 75 miles per hour is not debris. It is a projectile. It speaks to a rush validation process for the adhesives used on this specific alloy. Stainless steel is notoriously difficult to bond to. Its surface energy is different from painted aluminum or steel. If you don't prep the surface perfectly, if you don't account for thermal expansion differentials between the steel and the plastic clips, the bond fails. The truck was literally shedding its skin. The rust mythos. And then, there was the rust. The internet exploded with images of orange specks on the pristine steel skin. The stainless giant is rusting, the headline screamed. Forensically, this is nuanced. The 30X cold-rolled stainless steel alloy is highly corrosion resistant. It doesn't rust in the traditional sense of rotting through. What we were seeing was rail dust and free iron. When these trucks are transported by rail, microscopic particles of iron from the train tracks and wheels float in the air. They settle on the flat, horizontal surfaces of the Cybertruck. Those tiny iron particles rust. They stain the stainless steel. It's not the truck rusting, it's the contamination on the truck rusting. However, for the consumer who just paid 6 figures for a vehicle promised to be apocalypse-proof, the distinction is irrelevant. They see rust. They see failure. It forced owners to become amateur metallurgists, scrubbing their trucks with barkeeper's friend and citry surf, buffing out the orange spots. The grave they dug. Elon Musk was right. In October 2023, he famously told investors, "We dug our own grave with the Cybertruck." He wasn't talking about the design. He was talking about the manufacturing hell. The 4,680 battery cells, the heart of this beast, have been a production bottleneck since day one. The dry coating electrode process, intended to revolutionize battery cost and speed, proved insanely difficult to scale. Without the cells, you can't build the trucks. Without volume, the cost per unit remains astronomical. Musk warned that it would take until 2025 to see significant positive cash flow from the Cybertruck. He wasn't being pessimistic. He was being a realist in a room full of dreamers. The verdict. So, did soap kill the stainless giant? No. The Cybertruck is still here. It is still rolling off the line at Giga Texas. It is still turning heads and breaking necks on every street corner. But the soap incident was a symptom of a much deeper pathology. It exposed a culture of move fast and break things, applied to a 7,000-pound kinetic weapon. It revealed that in the rush to reinvent the wheel, or the wiper, or the door handle, basic automotive principles, like how to glue a pedal pad so it doesn't kill you, were overlooked. The Cybertruck is a marvel of engineering ambition. But it is also a cautionary tale about the limits of disruption. You can reinvent the chassis. You can reinvent the steering. But you cannot reinvent the laws of friction. When you use soap where you should use glue, physics will always have the last laugh. For the Forensic Files, I'm signing off. Check your pedals. Check your VIN. And if you're driving a Cybertruck, maybe keep a rivet gun handy.